Hello, hello. Today I've got the final, I guess, unofficial little black clothing videos that I've been doing. Today I'm going to be using the warm grays for her dress, W579, and then a little bit of 110, special black. And so I'll just get right into that. I've got Gorjuss Girl, The Winter's Night. She's one of the new ones, I think, from Santoro. If you're shopping in the US, I got mine from allthatscraps.com. And I just really like these Gorjuss Girls. They're different and cute. Anyway, I'm going with my lightest color, W5. And my light source is coming in from high in the right, because that's the direction she's facing, and so that's the way I was keeping it. So I'm just laying my color in opposite the light source, wrapping it around. I'm going to do the same on the robe, but let's do the hat first. And we're going to do W7 next. And then the reason why I'm going with the W's on her kind of coat and hat are because I kind of pictured her as like a little wizard, and instead of it being a winter's night like the stamp name, I am going with a Halloween night. And you know, it's cold here come Halloween. Sheesh, some Halloweens we have snow on the ground. But I think that the W's, because they're those warmer grays, they look a lot like wool, like black wool. So I wanted to give her that look. Now I'm going to give it a little bit, just a touch of the special black, the 110. And just in those farthest. Okay, now I'm going to blend back down, skipping the W9, just to the W7. Pulling it a little bit further around. Again, you'll notice I'm pulling, instead of coloring up and down like this, I'm always kind of pulling with that grain. And then I'm actually going to hit this side a little bit as it curves around away from our eye there. And then I'm going to go in with my W5. Come all the way around. Not starting all the way back here because I want to keep that nice and dark, but kind of in that area where we pulled the 7. And then we'll meet it over here on this side too. Just get that nice and light in there. Okay, now we're going to move down here to her robe. Same thing. I start with my lightest color. This, I've said it before, it is how I'm most comfortable coloring with the Copic markers, because it allows me to plan out and see right away where my lightest area, what I'm leaving white, is always telling me at the end that's going to be the lightest shade of whatever color I'm doing. Oh, I altered her a little bit by drawing in a little wand in her hand to kind of make her a little wizard, just in case you saw the stamp and were wondering what looked different about it. I just easy peasy, didn't have to wipe away anything or anything. I just simply drew in a little basically stick in her hand, colored it brown. Now I lost my train of thought as where I was going before that. Well, if it was important, it'll come back to me. Okay, and then we're going to get this side of the robe, just because it is, you know, bending away, so as anything bends away from your eye, it's going to be a bit darker over here. But just a little line. Make it kind of nice and fuzzy. Okay. Now the W7. Start back here all the way at the back and pull around. This basically cone shape of the body. We're kind of in that little motion, sweeping motion, to give us a nice little curve. That's going to create the illusion of mass inside this warm woolen robe that she's wearing. Get the arm back here underneath her scarf. I'm going to pull it a little bit more this way. We're not worrying about blending as usual at this point. We're just getting the color on. Okay. Now my W9. Starting at the back with our little flicking motions, sweeping it forward. Not as far as the last two shades. Get some in here on the arm, down here where the arm is against the body, underneath the scarf, underneath the scarf over here, on this side. Okay. And the special black, we're just getting a little bit of that on just to really give us a nice bit of drama. Always going for that contrast and drama that as much as we can. Underneath the arm, a little bit here. I'm not going to worry about that side. Okay, so now I'm blending back down with the W7. I'm just sweeping again, blending them, coming in a little bit further than I did the first time with it, in towards that white area that I left. Because we do want this to be a dark robe. Blend, blend, blend. Okay. Now I'm going to spin her this way because I want to blend from the other side a bit. Pulling towards me. Get in here. Up here. And then on this side, that little scarf's going to cast a bit of a shadow as well. Now I'm going to take my W5, kind of meet in the middle and blend it all together. I'm not worrying about the buttons because I'll probably go in with a silver pen and just dot them. Make them nice and metallic looking. Get her arm over here where it's lightest, and that'll get a nice distinction so it doesn't blend straight into the body. You'll still be able to see the arm over here. Okay. And then I'm going to let that dry. I'm going to come back to it, but first, while it's drying, I'm going to take care of this little cat here, and he is actually a Inkadinkadoo stamp from a clear set, and you can see he's not an outline stamp that you would traditionally color in, but I wanted him to have the same kind of shaded look as she does and the rest of the scene's going to have. So since it's going to be a black cat anyway, I'm just going to take my C's, my cool grays, C5, 7, and 9, and I'm going to color right over that ink because again I just used the Memento ink, so it's not going to hurt the markers. And I'm just going to start creating the shadows on him and filling in this little cat just like I would as if he was a outline stamp. And that'll make him fit in with the rest of the scene a lot better. And I'm just paying attention again, the light source is coming in from the right, so everything opposite's going to be darker on him. Okay. Now I'm going to do my C7. just hitting his arched back over here, the legs. This leg is underneath, so it's going to be darker. You got that one. And then his little face. And this doesn't have to be anything, you know, too specific or anything, because we're just getting a basic shape on here. He's not super detailed or anything. And then the C9, just for a little bit of drama back there, legs there. Like I said, this is pretty abstract, but it's going to help him not look so out of place with the really detailed colored in image. Okay, and then I'm just going to blend back down the C7. Did I get his tail with the C9? I don't think so. There we go. And finally the C5. Just filling the rest of it in. And he's still got that fuzziness to him, which works, especially when he's all worked up about something. Probably this little girl's cast a spell on him. Who knows, maybe he was like a ex-boyfriend or something. She turned him into a cat. Who knows? All the stories you can create with your little stamped characters. It's fun. And I'm just going to leave the little crazy hair crazy. I'm not going to try to color that in. See, that's really easy, and he looks so much better now than compared to if I just had left him as the straight ink stamped image. Okay, so and that's given my little woolen robe time to dry, and I'm just going to go back over it with my W's, get it just a bit darker. So I'm going to come back with my W9. Just one more hit, pulling it around. If I had wanted to leave it that more kind of, I guess, pilgrim gray, I would have just been happy with where we had it. But I want it to be a little bit darker for our Halloween card. And then the W7. Pulling that in around the tip of that wand that I drew in for her on the arm there. And along this side. Okay, and we'll finish it off once again with our W5. Giving ourselves a nice smooth blend. And that's giving us a nice kind of, I just like the warm grays. They look soft, like if you were able to reach out and touch it, you'd have that nice soft texture. Okay. Now I'm thinking, just because I have the little wand going on and kind of creating a scene here with the cat, I'm going to experiment a bit and take my colorless blender, and I'm just going to kind of sit it here around the tip of that wand, and I want to push away some of that color that we just laid on. Not bad. And I just am going to give her kind of like a little spark coming off of the tip of that wand. Let that dry a little bit. Okay, now I did her hair. I want it to be kind of luminescent, so I had like the pale blues, the B quad 0, B triple 0, B double 0, then some VO1 and BV double 0, I think. And we're going to kind of play off of that. I'm I'm going to definitely use my light blues on that little circle here. So we'll go get some, I think I grabbed the 000 and the 00. And then what I'll do is, once it's all dry and I have the whole scene finished, I'll take maybe some Ranger Stickles or the Clear Snap Illuminate Smooch. One of those, something really sparkly, probably the Stickles. And that way it'll make it kind of look like the crackling electricity, you know, of the magic coming out of the wand. And then it's not, just that little bit of blue circle is going to help it, that there's something there, some kind of power there, other than if I would have just put like straight Stickles over top the robe that we had done. So it just, I think, is going to help complete the scene a little bit. Looks a little goofy right now, but I'm going to have to leave it there because that's, you know, the coloring the black part is done. If you didn't want to do that, which, you know, just don't put the colorless blender in the blue there and you'll have a nice smooth warm gray black robe. And that is it for that, and thanks for watching.